Hello, this is Gerald Johan van Waas. In this video I will explain the sound ö, which isn't used in all languages, but every sound has also a specific orientation, as I also explain them always as a specific orientation in our mind to pinpoint the right position in time and space. And ö is used in a lot of words in Dutch, in other languages a little bit less. But I will take some examples of it, but first we have to figure out how can we express this sound, what does this sound means, and how can we see this as one orientation. It's just one sound, so it should be also be just one orientation. And it's written as a combination as e and u, or u as we say it. And e is, I will do also something else as I actually never did before, and actually it's a much better refinement of my method, and that makes it also possible to use the resumes of what the sound orientations mean and how they are positioned, to use them really as tools, as puzzle pieces that you can simply put together. So more and more I will find the positions that can be used in a much more, let's say, almost mathematical or geometrical way, without having to think too much about it. And that will make it more easy, but it needs some refinement of the method that I already have, and it will be useful here, and it will show its use also very quickly. And you know, there are a couple of categories. So you have the category of orientation in space, which I always present as blue in the background. There's a category of orientations in time, where it's a bit further in the environment and the things are changing there. You have to use the element of time for it, because there's movement and so on, there are changes. And the last category is the category of context, and then you have to see that that we can direct it a little bit so that we have the right position in as a frame. So it looks down upon everything what there is from the frames from the outside, and the blue part is going from the inside. And this can be very useful, and I will use the three sizes also, so, and they fit into each other, and it's much more easy. So you have here the blue, which will fit into the green, which will fit into the red part, or the space will fit into the environment, and the environment will fit into the general in the general space, let's say, of orientation. Spatial orientations is not the right idea, but it's like the contextual frame, let's say. Okay, here we have then the A, which basically is the horizontal or forward move within two positions, which actually in general wants to say it is about time. There is a change, there is a move. That's how you have to explain, you have to remember it, and it's very easy to remember. That's the E within a frame here. That makes it more easy. The frame of the space is much more easy than I have that frame in within a circle, so that makes it more easy to view the objects inside. And the U there is also in two positions, and the two positions you only take one out of two, and that one is the physical orientation which you will follow. Now we have to combine E and U. Very easy. Put them on top of each other as one sound. So this one sound, is clearly a reference of something that is moving, and you go to the second position where it becomes physical. That's how I can understand it, the eu. Now I just have to see, okay, is this useful in words? Is this idea that I have analyzed from it and concluded from it, is this useful? And I have some examples. There are not too many words, but I have some: beuk, neus, deur, teut, geur. In French you have peur, something else. Yeah, I only know Dutch words. But I had a French word too. I've written it down, but when I pronounce it, peur, it's not the same as beuk. The sound is different. It's written the same way, so I leave it out. So let's go to the Dutch words. We start with beuk. So we have already e. Now we have also b and the k. The b also in two positions, and it's breaking apart at the side, at the edges. The k is also breaking apart in the diagonal from one position. So that's the theory. It's simply the puzzle piece of the based upon the theory. So when I combine them on top of each other, I have to start from the b, put the e frame on it. Yeah, there's not much place there to put the e on top of it, but I find some place, so I focus on that place there. And there I also have at the second point of the u a breaking point. So that's basically my combination of beuk. And a beuk has several meanings. So one of the meanings is that it's a tree, and how we remember the tree, how do we distinct the tree from other trees? It's that it is stronger. It has a stronger resilience, so it hardly breaks. All the wood is quite kind of breakable. The beuk is the strongest of them all. The B, of course, it is also about formation. So it may be best that I also show you this form out of the physical area. And if I do that, it becomes even more clear what it expresses at the end. What do I have at the end? Yeah, of course, accidentally you see something with that breaks in different parts, almost like a tree, but that doesn't matter. You have to focus on what do we have here as a combination of points that have one meaning together. It's the beach is the right word, but it also is a knave. That's also one of the meanings. And there's even a clothing piece as well that in the north of Holland that is used as beuk. Beuk, you see the pressure point, the pressure going to a point which is a pressure point, almost a breaking point, but the B makes a kind of resilience against that breaking point. That fits with the beach. This overarching movement also fits with the knave to a degree that it is overspanning some area. And the beuk as a clothing piece, it is this kind of clothing piece which hangs at the back as a clothing piece together, or fits even better with that kind of structure. This is just an investigation, but you see it's pinpointing your mind towards a certain direction, and these should fit with the meaning which is underlying. Some of the words will be even more clear. I will go to neus, where I have the N, which is taking out in time of something in the vertical, and the S is in the larger frame, in which you have all these fluctuations, and these fluctuations, that's a more difficult idea, which also still puzzled me at some certain points, like what is the real mathematical usage. How could we use it as a formula? that it will always work. It is based upon a fluctuation at the edges, which basically always follows all the changes. It's based upon every move which is there, and it will follow the changes and will make a fluctuating frame at the outside. That's what it could do, and it's a bit difficult to make it as just one formula, so I'm still working on it how to do so, but this is a good introduction to show you what's happening, and with neus as well, how I will show it this time will make it even more clear. Because if I put the frames on top of each other, so it's the move up and the move sideways to that point, I could even move that frame along, so that's also a possibility, but it doesn't matter because is just one sound. Both of them are correct to follow, and then the s's have to follow that direction. So two directions will be the most clear, of course, or from here onwards. Also these s's will be the leading parts to be followed, that will follow the moves. The moves underneath should show the neus which I have designed here underneath. So it is comprehensible. To have really a perfect formula, that's maybe, so we still have to look for it a little bit, but you can already understand it. If you just do that, you even can do that quite intuitively. You will immediately notice that there is a reference frame that will guide you towards the right association. So basically these frames that move and your side moves and then you fit all these things in, they are a bit like reference frames, which can be compared to the visual facial recognition. And that's basically the foundation of my theory, is not just the numerical order and the pinpointing places and in time and or pinpointing letters in space and time. It's not just that. Our ears also have tried to find a balance, and it is, you can compare it to a kind of oral sound inform recognition. So we have that in our inner ear. We find the balance and we see, okay, where's the balance? And these moves that I do, is almost the same like the moves in your visual eye. Where are the moves? And I try to recognize the patterns. The same thing, it still has to be proved to how the brain works. So I hope someone will ever do that. So you can do that visually. Why can't you do that orally with letters? That we recognize letters, not just the letters separately, but also the combinations, that we follow these pinpoints and then fit in the object that fits to it. That's what I basically was doing with neus. I hope you could sense that in that way. So in a way these s's moved along with the and find the neus anyhow. No matter if you there are tendencies, there are directions, and you make up your mind that the neus is recognized. Okay, let's go to the next word. So you have already the D is a move from a center in time, the same size as The R is in a bigger size. That's the outer frame. That's the contextual frame. It's basically finding the connection points within. So this will also make connections. It's a bit like the circular movement, and it will go from one of these four angles will find its point of of making a connection. That's basically actually what it's doing there from outside a frame. It is trying to find a connection and moves toward it. With deur, I have a couple of movements. I have the D forward, I have the eu. Also it goes forward to a physical point in space. That's the eu. And with the R, we will make that connection towards that in time, in context, and so on, in the contextual sense. And that's the door. Neus was, of course, nose, that you forgot to say that. Deur is, of course, door, obviously, and it can be recognized what's happening there. Let's go to the next word, teut. You have the T only and the E, that makes it easy. What is a teut? I looked it up on the internet if we had a good translation for English, but I couldn't even find the word because we use it all the time. It's this part on the can. It is kind of extension which makes pouring more easy. That's that part. And it is easily recognized. You go from T, you stretch it to a more physical point, and again T. And if you put them right on top of each other with the right balance of the T's, this form will easily fit in. If I put it in, if I change it into a three-dimensional form, I will have it quite easily. If I start with the T as if the frame I'm starting from is a bowl or something, and if I do that, I will come to that form. So our mind also follows what we hear. In a way, we hear this and sense this and know in which direction our mind has to go, and we go immediately to the right position. We do that again unconsciously. That's with the facial recognition as well. Do that unconsciously, but the letters will fit the objects and the intentional pinpointing directions that the word is describing, and the descriptions can be found by analyzing them. And the last word, geur, which means scent. You have the G, which is basically also at the edges, and it connects to larger areas beyond that, and that will be brought down here, as you can see. I think that will be a good representation of the G, and the R, or we already know that's a different kind of presentation, which both will do actually, how they connect to the frames or the below. So let's combine G, E, and R, or which should mean scent. So you have G, this whole area of things that you're not able to see. We're not able to see them in a physical sense. We not even able to sense them on a time frame. That's what the context is about. We don't know the full picture of the physical placement. We don't know all the movements. We can't see them, and so on. So it is a connection point to what goes beyond our abilities, actually, that we normally could see. At that point of the G, from what I explain what it represents, we see that something physically adaptive comes out of it, as the E, which R is connected, in this case inwardly. So geur, or scent, it is describing that actually very well, because it gives us a connection point to things we normally can't see or can't sense directly, because they're not visible and we cannot visualize them. but with scent we can still figure out its composition, what the larger composition, and so on. So that's what the scent is doing. So I think that's a good description of what scent is, based upon these puzzle pieces that describe it. So I hope this also brought you closer to understand the way how we in our mind mix up a kind of oral recognition of formation processes that are described with these letters, and that it brings us closer to how this works, how this looks like in visually, that we can that I can show it to you how this exists actually, that every word in that way also really means what it has as an intention to mean. Books you have here, you have a Facebook page, you have a subscription to the YouTube channel request, you have the thanks for watching, and the website underneath with some list of demonstrated words. Thanks for watching, bye.